Good morning, boys and girls. I'm Miss Lydia from the Boston Library. Thank you for joining me for story time. Today we are talking about snowmen. We've gotten lots of snow outside, so it's the perfect time to start thinking about making a snowman. Our first book is called Snowmen at Night by Carolyn Buehner. One wintry day, I made a snowman, very round and tall. The next day when I saw him, he was not the same at all. His hat had slipped, his arms drooped down. He really looked a fright. It made me start to wonder, what do snowmen do at night? I think that snowmen start to slide when it gets really dark, off the lawns and down the street right into the park. Now, one of our snowmen has a funny nose. Do you see his pickle nose? See if you can find that in the other pictures as well. They gather in a circle while they wait for all the others, sipping cups of ice-cold cocoa made by snowman mothers. You see the pickle? Then the snowman games begin. They line up in their places, each one anxious for his turn in the snowman races. After everyone has had a chance at racing once or twice, they go on over to the pond to do skating tricks on ice. Can you spot a pickle in that picture? He's right there. Sometimes they start giggling and then they act like clowns. They bump into each other till they all fall down. And what is this one doing? He's making a snow angel, right? Do you see our pickle nose in there? It's right there. They gather up their snowballs, the pitcher takes his aim, and underneath the moonlight sky, they play a baseball game. No one knows just how it started, but soon it's quite a sight, with snowmen throwing snowballs in the world's best snowball fight. Where's the pickle in this one? Do you see it? Right up there. Then it's time for sledding. It's a wild ride down the hill. Look at that big hill they're sledding down. Wahoo, they yell. This is, by far, the snowman's biggest thrill. And there's his pickle nose. Finally, they're tuckered out and getting sleepy. So they slowly gather up their things, and one by one they go. This one is especially tired with his pickle nose, isn't he? So if your snowman's grin is crooked, or he's lost a little height, you'll know he's just been doing what snowmen do at night. And that's the end. Our next book is called Snowman Magic by Catherine Teagan. It had been snowing all day. Snowing, snowing, snowing. George was bored. There was no school, so he needed something to do. He kept looking out the window. Would it ever stop? The next morning, the sun was shining. When George looked out the window, everything was brilliant white. The snow was so bright, it was almost hard to look at. If he squinted, he could see it was very deep, and it had drifted high against the slope of his backyard. Do you know what kind of birds those are in the tree? Those are cardinals. George put on his warm socks and his snow pants and his flannel shirt. Then he put on his snow jacket, his boots, his mittens, and his hat. He was ready. Outside, the air smelled clean and cold. George plunged into the snow. It was fluffy, but crunchy too. He made a snowball and threw it against a tree. It was very, very quiet. George took some snow and packed it into a small ball. Then he started rolling the ball in the snow. The ball got bigger and bigger. When the ball got too heavy to roll, he stopped rolling it near the bottom of the slope. Then he started rolling a medium-sized ball. and he put that on top of the big ball. Finally, he made a small ball for the top. George went inside the house and found a scarf in the closet and a carrot in the refrigerator. In the old days, his mother told him, people used to take pieces of coal and use them to make eyes. But there wasn't any coal in George's house, so he found 2 buttons and brought them outside with the scarf and the carrot. He carefully pushed the buttons into the small ball near the top. He stuck the carrot in the center. He found a few small twigs and used them to make a mouth. He wrapped the scarf between the top ball and the middle ball, and he found 2 branches to stick into the sides of the middle ball. It was the perfect snowman. George turned his head. He thought he saw the snowman smiling at him. Could it be? Time for a snack, said George. He went inside the house and got 2 mugs of hot chocolate and some cookies. He put them on the snow table. Would you like something to eat? George asked. I can't drink hot chocolate, the snowman said, but a cookie would be nice. It was magic. After their snack, George made a cave, tunneling deep into the slope. He piled up snowballs at the entrance, then he threw a couple at the snowman. The snowman made some snowballs and threw them back at George. His long branch arms helped him throw the snowballs very far. It was hard to say who won the fight, but it was still fun. The snowman chased George around the yard, and then George chased the snowman. The snowman couldn't move that fast, so it was easy for George to sneak up on him. It was starting to get dark. George didn't want to go inside, but his mother was calling him. Goodbye, snowman, he said. I'll see you tomorrow. George thought he heard the snowman say, good night. The next day, it was warmer. The sun was even brighter, and the snowman was shrinking. George played with him all day, but he could tell that the snowman didn't have quite the same energy. Then it was Monday. George had to go to school. It was another bright, warm day. When he came back home, the snowman was almost gone. The scarf and the carrot and the buttons had slid down. He could hardly recognize his snowman. The cave had collapsed too, and the snow table had melted. The next morning, George looked out the window. It was snowing. Snowing, snowing, snowing. He couldn't wait to build his snowman again. Our last book for today is called All You Need for a Snowman by Barbara Lavalier. One small snowflake fluttering down. That's all you need for a snowman. Except 2 more snowflakes, 3 flakes, 4, 5, 6, 7,000, 8 million more. Billions of snowflakes piled in a mound. Pat them and pack them and roll them around into one big ball. And that's all. One big, cold, well-rolled snowflake ball. That's all you need for a snowman. Except for a middle-sized ball and a small one. On top of that, you need a hat. A short, flat hat or a tall one. 3 hand-packed, triple-stacked balls of snow. Hat on top where a hat should go. That's all you need for a snowman. Except for a couple of bottle caps, round and flat. Stick them under the snowman's hat. Surprise! Snowman eyes. That's all you need for a snowman's face. But what's in the middle? An empty space. That's the place where the carrot goes, if a carrot is a snowman's nose. But what about clothes? Walnut buttons 5 in a row, belt in the middle, boots below, a big wool scarf, broom to hold, mittens in case his hands get cold, earmuffs, fanny pack, something to read. That's absolutely all you need for a snowman. That's a lot of stuff, isn't it? Look at our giant snowman and all the details on his face and his buttons and his belt and his boots. Uh-oh, look, in the sky again. One small snowflake falling, then soft white snowflakes filling the sky, floating down everywhere, piling up high. What do you think they're doing now? That's all you need for a snowman's friend. The end. Now that we know exactly what we need for snowmen, I think it's a perfect time to go out and build one. If you happen to make a snowman, please take a picture and post it below. We would love to see your creations. Thank you for joining me today, and we will see you next week.